Kuzangplan, welcome. This is our weekly news magazine program, Bhutan This Week. I'm Cheku, and first the top stories of this week. Purjang of late Yabdashu Ugendoji was held on Thursday in Punakha. Prime Minister Dr. Lotus Singh mentions Bhutan's faith in the UN as unwavering. And Highlanders to be benefited the most from the latest electricity tariff revision. Let's now take a look at the details. The Purjang of late Yabdashu Ugendoji was held on Thursday, coinciding with the 5th day of the 8th Bhutanese month at Wolakha in Punakha. The Purjang was attended by His Majesty the King, His Majesty the 4th Drugyalpo, and the entire royal family.
Representatives of the government, members of parliament, dignitaries from the international community, as well as thousands of people whose lives have been touched by late Yab were present to offer their respects. The prayers for the last rites was presided over by His Holiness the Jekempo and conducted by the Jungdasa. Yabdashu Ugendoji passed away peacefully on 12th May this year. Thousands of Bhutanese offered their respects while the Kudung lay in repose at Wolakha. Yabdashu Ugendoji is the maternal grandfather of His Majesty the King. Known as a pioneering entrepreneur and great religious patron, Yab sponsored the construction and renovation of many religious structures across Bhutan throughout his lifetime, including the nunnery in Wolakha. He was conferred the Red Scarf by His Majesty the 4th Drugyalpo in 1991. For Chenga Doji in Wandifoda, this is Tandan Fenso for BBS News.
About 450 monks from Tango Dodin Tashitang Buddhist University took part in Jongjur, or a religious walk from Dodina to Pangrizampa and back to the university to mark the end of the 45-day summer retreat, or Yarne. It is to sanctify the nearby places and also to provide avenues for devotees to accumulate merits through various offerings.
Tangu Dordin Tashitang Buddhist University has been conducting Yarne for years. However, the university has never organized such a long walk before. Today, unlike usual religious ceremonies, monks were dressed with unique robes and began their walk from the university. Each one of them carries a small bowl to receive offerings made by devotees while they walk, and kept the pace to complete the walk.
ngachara phabi gendi kara ngachara jongle jong judi uli shedi gibe deve chomdalu gendi michidi bi chinable tinshnabe te cheta sunam peda jobat suya ge tele niyam mugi te suma shibe benigi te giba khabarchen evleten digibe te ngachi deve jogumi nedin te tele dendi se shunila.
The Lord Buddha initially introduced Yarne in India. Then Jongju, or a religious walk which is part of Yarne, had been followed widely in India and Tibet. and such walk had been followed in various religious centers across the country to mark the end of the summer retreat.
대연의 중고비기 내든디 카 숨베 두스슈니나 담바디 나처라 대 출문티바기 대 차카트 스탐다 아니 도비기 치도 대 치달도 배워치 안데 비메스슈니나 대 나달도 배워친 대 랑기 네라와다 좀바티 수추 대 베베니기 치도 임베스슈니나 대 상와달도 배워친 lokpatisam ki chuda tele pongasam den ki chute so nyamsu leni ki te thapzum chibe te sangye chacha thologi tebe jitsuna nong se shunila.
With unwavering faith in Buddhism, hundreds of devotees lined up along the way to make offerings while they received blessings from sacred relics.
같이 중고종가디 남의 섬에 개발 상배골로 양결 학벌진들 같이 까왕기 기호디 남의 섬에서는 엄지 senda giok senda matauchi ime tiki gasuchi mise yongi khatule ani sumbe pedi te sangi milu chumbe sumbe gasuchi konang chona tebe chumme.
The university plans to continue the trend annually from now. The yearly will formally conclude with Sokur tomorrow. For Pema Cheong, Choni Dama for BBS News.
A Royal Bhutan Army officer and an Indian officer were killed on the spot when the helicopter they were flying crashed into a hill in between Yongphala and Kengdongmani in Tashigang. The incident happened last Friday. Sources said the Indian Army helicopter was approaching Yongphala to land when the accident happened. And around that time, the weather was reportedly bad with thick fog, reducing visibility. The case is under investigation. The Tourism Council of Bhutan plans to employ around 3,000 Bhutanese in the tourism sector each year. Along this line, the Council observed the World Tourism Day 2019 with the theme Tourism and Jobs, a Better Future for All.
Currently, around 30,000 Bhutanese are employed in the tourism sector. Besides being a major contributor to the country's economy, it is the second largest employment-generating sector after the civil service. And it aspires to create more jobs for Bhutanese in future as well.
So it can be in form of guides, it can be in hotel industry, it can be in tour operator, it can be in transport. So there are so many avenues actually. In fact, we feel that tourism cuts across all section of the population. So there is a job in tourism related to tourism everywhere.
With community-based tourism and ecotourism plans, the sector is also expected to involve the people in rural areas. The government, through its flagship program, has allocated a budget of 1.56 billion item for tourism development in the 12th five-year plan. Samtan Dolkar, BBS News.
In his address at the General Debate of the United Nations General Assembly, Prime Minister Dr. Lotus Singh said, at a time when the relevance of multilateralism is often questioned, Bhutan's faith in the UN remains unwavering. Prime Minister added he returns home with renewed confidence that Bhutan continues to enjoy goodwill and support from the international community.
The Prime Minister said that challenges confronting the global community is numerous and multifaceted for individual states to tackle on their own. And for this, everyone must work together as one with the UN at the forefront.
To move ahead, we must work together as one global community with the UN at the forefront. And for our perspective, there is no alternative to multilateralism. At the same time, the UN must evolve and keep with changing realities.
Dr. Lotus Singh added that international peace and security are shared responsibilities in this interconnected world. He said despite limitations, Bhutan joined the peacekeeping operations in 2014, and since then the engagements have gradually increased. Addressing the gathering, the Prime Minister said the philosophy of development with values has prevented Bhutan from exploiting the natural resources for short-term gains.
When climate change has become the greatest threat facing humanity today, isn't it a wonder that a small country like Bhutan had the foresight to take this path from early days. Mr. President, I'm pleased to share that my government has adopted National Human Settlement Policy, which places importance on environment-friendly and energy-efficient construction. Our energy comes from hydropower, which we all know is renewable. We're also taking initiatives to replace fossil fuel with clean energy.
As Bhutan is set to graduate from the LDC category in 2023, Lenchen said that the government has identified 9 flagship programs in critical sectors which target multiple SDGs.
Today, as we prepare to graduate from LDCs, our last mile challenges include poverty eradication, addressing income inequality, and ensuring vulnerable sections of the population do not fall back into poverty due to climate change hazards and natural disasters. In addition, we are also confronted with inadequate resources and lack of institutional capacity. I personally feel the targets of SDG 17 will help my country graduate on a sure footing. I request our development partners to consider this.
Prime Minister said this year's theme for general debate of the General Assembly, which is galvanizing multilateral efforts for poverty eradication, quality education, climate action and inclusion, sits well with the government's commitment of narrowing the gap. Sunampem for BBS News.
Team Druk Rimdo Service, an online ritual service mobile application, won the Best Business Idea at the Thimphu Global Women Startup Weekend. 20 women from diverse backgrounds took part in the event.
Ngawang Choden is the brain behind Druk Rimdo Service. The business idea is about making access to monks and nuns easier through an online app to perform rituals at home. The app will have details of different rituals and an option to choose the number of monks required along with their rates. The app, according to Ngawang, is like any other online shopping app.
Basically, how we came out with this idea is, Bhutan is a religious country and religion is a part of culture, it's the root of culture. So no matter if you're religious or not, we have to celebrate all this, we have to perform all the rituals, right? So we must perform them, and the demand is really high for the monks and nuns, and the supply is also high, but it's just that it's not organized properly.
The 3-day event is to empower women in terms of financial independence.
The other objective is really to give this experiential learning platform to all the women from all walks of life, so that they at least understand where they stand in the entrepreneurship journey, and also to experience the life of a startup, the highs, the lows, the pressures, and they have experienced everything.
Coinciding with the International Women's Day on 8th March next year, a member of Druk Rimdo Service team will represent Bhutan in Singapore at a global summit with the idea. 67 cities from around the world will be participating in the event. Pema Saldun Sring, BBS News.
The College of Language and Cultural Studies in Trongsa will not take in the 7 former lecturers who were compulsorily retired in May this year for allegedly sexually harassing students. Office of the Attorney General and police found no evidence and basis to charge them.
7 of them had submitted a reinstatement application to the college on 13th August, and they received a letter from the college on Saturday saying they will not be reinstated. I talked with them, but they didn't want to reveal their identity.
We submitted our application based on 3 points. The first one is we requested the college management to reinstate us since we were declared innocent by the police. And the second one is we requested for the salary. And the third one is we requested for the compensation for the damages. So we again submitted an application, same application to the Vice Chancellor. And the Vice Chancellor said that he cannot say anything on this case because it is the decision of the college management.
While the investigation was going on, the president made a strong statement in the council. He said that whatever is the outcome of the police investigation, they will not take back the lecturers.
We were terminated baselessly before proper investigation. And then our family thinks that we have harassed girls, we have harassed the students, and we're not been able to show our face even to our parents. Current situation, we are very helpless. We are not even aware of what we should be doing forward.
The college management, on the other hand, says the compulsory retirement decision was administrative action for breaching the code of conduct of teacher, and there will be no alteration in the decision.
The basis of police is, giving them clean sheet is on the basis of criminality, and ours is purely on the basis of breach of teachers' code of conduct. So our parameters are different, our bases are different. So even if they are not charge sheeted to the court, our decision stands as it is.
The only thing the 7 former lecturers can do now is file a case in the court.
They should prove us wrong, and if they prove us wrong and if they are acquitted, then the court will accordingly order us to reinstate them. That's how things would move. So we are not in a position, because we have already taken a decision, and our decision stands still. And unless that intervention from the higher authority comes, we are not in a position to entertain them.
The college management compulsorily retired 9 lecturers and a supporting staff. Among them, only 3 former lecturers are prosecuted. The college registered the case with the police in May this year after 19 girls lodged a complaint to the management. Pasa, PBS News, Tromsø.
Positive energy, clean environment, fruitful learning, and healthy students. These phrases resonate with having proper sanitation in schools. But for schools in Bhutan, clean and proper toilet are rare. And with a hope to end toilet problems in schools across Paro, Education Ministry, in collaboration with Bhutan Toilet Organization, trained health coordinators and caretakers to install Setopan in schools.
Constructed spending millions of Newton, the toilets in school today is just a facade of proper sanitation. From broken taps to broken doors, improvised cemented toilets to tinted ceramic pots, the toilets in schools are in need for a revamp. 14 schools in Paro have reported that 158 toilets needed upgradation.
In some schools, number of toilets is less, but in some, there are enough toilets. However, these toilets are aqua privy toilets, and it causes foul smell. Since the students in the past have not properly used it, the pots are already broken and the toilet already stinks. So even if the students these days try to clean and repair it, it is difficult. It's the same in every school.
As part of school toilet upgradation project, Sato pans are being distributed to schools. During the training on Friday at Law Campus in Drugel Central School, 21 units of old aqua privy toilets are upgraded, including 2 for children with disabilities.
This type of pot is very strong. Even if it is hit by a stone, it won't break easily. This trapdoor will open and close as soon as you flush. So this blocks the smell and no fly will get in. It is very effective to prevent diseases. And it uses very less water. Half a liter of water can flush it.
He says clean, manageable toilets in school can be a change to better toilet etiquette in future.
Nobody uses the toilet properly. If anything in the toilet is missing, like water shortage, we don't use it properly. Now, this problem arises since we haven't seen any clean toilets and haven't used hygienic toilets when in school. So Bhutanese don't have proper toilet etiquette. So, if schools provide a clean and hygienic toilet now, as they grow, they will be able to maintain toilets in our country properly.
If all schools in the country maintain a data on types of toilets and damages done, the project expects to complete all toilets in schools by 2020.
Highlanders residing in communities of Laya, Lingshi, Merak and Sakting will enjoy 200 units of electricity free of cost from October this year. It is to improve the living standard and welfare of people in remote areas. The 200 units of free electricity came in as a new subsidy in the revised electricity tariff. The government approved the revised tariff for the next 3 years, which comes into effect from this month.
They have very important responsibilities besides living in a very, very harsh conditions. Both the rural people, they as well as others, have a very harsh conditions, and still they use fuel wood for heating and cooking purposes. And this all falls on women and children who collect firewood, who are there in the kitchen most of the time with smokes, burning of fuel and all. You have all the respiratory elements and problems of health issues. All such will be addressed if such subsidy is provided.
While maintaining the rural subsidy of 100 units free electricity per month, the revised electricity tariff increased the low voltage block 2 range to 500 units from 300 units without any change in the present tariff of 2.68 Newton per unit. The current tariff was increased by 3% annually in the last cycle. The Economic Affairs Minister Loknath Sharma said, with the increase in range for low voltage block 2, domestic households and especially those in urban areas will see a decrease in their electricity cost in winter.
Most of the urbanities who are here and who domestic use will fall in this category. So your units have now increased by 200 more, from 300 to 500. And in this also we have not changed the tariff. The previous tariff was 2.68 and it is maintained. Most of our general users will fall in this category, domestic users. They will benefit. Why we are doing this is particularly to encourage people to also shift to electricity as cooking fuel. And slowly, we should decrease the dependency on LPG as cooking fuels.
For those falling in the block 3 category, meaning the consumers using beyond 500 units of electricity and low voltage bulk users such as the army and police colonies, the tariff is increased by 1% annually from the current tariff. For the medium voltage users such as industries, the tariff is increased by 10% annually. The Economic Affairs Minister said it is the highest increase in this tariff cycle despite the government's effort to contain its increase by providing subsidy. Without subsidy, it would be 26% increase in tariff. Government will be paying more than 85 million Newton in subsidy for the medium voltage users. The government will be bearing close to 1.5 billion Newton as subsidy for the next 3 years for low and medium voltage consumers. Pupkem for BBS News.
The people of Norbugang, Geok and Sampsi refused to give public clearance for dredging Diana and Dipu rivers in the Geok. During the consultation meeting, the public insisted on keeping 4 of the 8 allotted plots for the community contractors. But as the meeting could not yield any consensus on this proposal, the issuance of public clearance was kept on hold.
Around 100 people from the Geok, along with the 38 contractors who applied for public clearance with the Geok administration, met to discuss the matter. But the public remained adamant and asked for 4 plots to be kept for the community contractors. Divided into 8 plots, about 145 acres have been identified along Diana and Dipu rivers to carry out dredging works. The Department of Forests and Park Services called for applications earlier this month on a first-come, first-served basis.
I have explained to the people the benefits of such works to the country and the community economically. But people do not want to give the works to other contractors if the community contractors do not get it.
They can keep 4 plots if they have the ownership of that particular land. But here we are talking about state land. So they do not have that right. Even the contractors are not listening to this idea since they have to work equally. They have to follow the same procedure.
The Gyok administration will have to intervene. We will report the matter to the Dzongkhag administration and the government to find new ideas. Maybe one idea could be to reduce the number of acres per plot so that the community people will directly benefit. Right now, it is 18 acres per plot. We will continue working on this.
The representative of the Forest Range Office present at the meeting explained to the public that it is not in their hand or anyone in the Dzongkhag level to decide whether or not to reserve the plots for community contractors. One of the contractors said he would withdraw his application if the plots were divided among the community and the contractors. Meanwhile, the GUP says the dredging works need to be done even if the public clearance consultation failed today. A total of 21 new sites have been identified in Chukha, Sarpang and Samtse districts for river dredging works. Of it, 12 are in Samtse. For Sherab Dorji in Samtse, Samten Dolker, BBS News.
And that's it for this week's edition of the Bhutan This Week, our weekly news magazine program. Until next time, I'm Cheku, signing off only for now.